One love, one love, one love, one love, one love.
Keep calm. It's your favorite DJ, DJ One Love.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now, it's the Real Life with One Love talk show, the show that deals with real life and also have fun while we're doing it. Tune in every Wednesday at 5:30, Comcast 17, and make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for all other things that will be going on with Real Life with One Love. Get ready to enjoy the show, and thank you for watching Real Life with One Love.
Good evening. How y'all doing tonight? This is the Real Life with One Love show. Hey, we have a very, very explosive show on tonight. I got one of my friends, man. We go all the way back to grade school, man. We grew up in the same neighborhood, went to the same high school, and he's also in the entertainment industry, has his own talk show, and he talks about some of everything, relationships, mental health, all kind of things. So, guys, just stay tuned for the show. This is my friend, my brother from another mother. Y'all make some noise for my guy D.Peck. D.Peck, what's going on, bro?
Man, what's up?
Man, it's all love, man. First of all, I want to just thank you for coming on this evening, man. Just excited about what's going on with you and everything you got going on. And you've been doing this thing since 2019. So you got a little ups on me on the whole media industry and with your open now. Open. What's that open mean? What's the acronym? What's that open mean again?
Overcoming problems effectively now.
Overcoming problems effectively now. That means you can get over it right now.
Right now.
Right now. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about it, man. So how did you get into this whole thing with having your own radio show, bro? How did it even happen?
Man, well, we can take the long route or the short route. Basically, man, I started teaching Sunday school in church.
Okay.
And then once I started teaching Sunday school, a couple of years later, I became the superintendent of Sunday school.
Okay.
And then on from there, I started mentoring youth and mentoring men.
Okay.
And that's where that's where I got interested in it when I started mentoring men. You know, just we as leaders, as men, just seeing so many men that don't have no purpose, no direction in life. And you know, some got wives and children and don't know where they're headed. How you gonna be a good leader when you don't know how to lead yourself? So absolutely. You know, iron sharpens iron, man. And I just feel like we as men can learn from each other.
Right.
So I was speaking at different engagements, and someone had encouraged me to do start doing videos on social media. So at first I was like, man, I don't know about that because, you know, I'm from Westwood, down south. Right. I don't pronunciate my words the correct way and the right way. And, you know, I was kind of skeptical about doing videos. Correct. So, you know, I'm good 101, but as far as public speaking, I was very hesitant to do that because, you know, at first I was trying to compare myself to other people, you know, where they pronounce their words real good or they speak good English. And I know I talk slow, don't pronunciate my words right sometimes, so I was kind of skeptical about doing some videos. So then a partner, he told me that's from up north. He said, "See, like I talk." He said, "They'll think I'm fake." He said, "But you, some people accept you just the way that you are because you're down to earth and you're being yourself. It don't sound like it's an act." So I did my first video and I started out with Man Up Friday.
Okay. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah. I started out with Man Up Friday, and then after a couple of weeks, it was more women inboxing me than men.
Right.
And I was helping the women with their men and not just men. So I removed the man up Friday and I said, you know what? I'm just going to go with Open Uncut. And Open Uncut started years ago, man. I thought of Open Uncut years ago, way before I unfolded. And I know people are looking for something real and authentic.
Correct.
And, you know, not knocking no churches or nothing like that. I just feel like most churches spend entirely too much time trying to reconvince believers to believe.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, keep going.
They spend entirely too much time trying to reconvince believers to believe every Sunday, because once the seed has already been planted, you know, it's up to us to water our own seed.
Oh,
but you know,
God.
we get so caught up in reconvincing each other each and every Sunday, not realizing that the real ministry is out in the street.
Correct.
So, you know, and then when they have all these mentoring groups, you know, from the singles ministry, the men's ministry, whatever ministry may be, a lot of people wasn't being real and authentic.
Correct.
You know, and telling their real life history of what they've been through and got through. Because they worry about what people gonna say, and they trying to uphold their good title. You know, I feel like when you come into the group setting, leave the titles at the door.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna help nobody unless you share your testimony.
Come on, Doc.
if you was a street walker, a prostitute that used to walk on the street, don't be afraid to tell that other young lady that said they're struggling that, hey, that once was me. If you was a homemonger, to the men, they used to mess with a whole lot of women.
Yeah.
And you see a young guy that going through the same thing that you going through, don't be afraid to share your testimony.
Right.
And so that's why I came up with Open, man. Open Uncut, overcoming problems effectively now. Because we all just need a little guidance and a little direction and somebody to be real with us. So that's where it originated from, man. That's how it all got started. And it was a guy I had worked with years ago. We drove trucks together, team drivers. Okay. And we had fell out of touch, and he had been watching my videos for he said he had been watching about a year or so.
Okay.
You know, just looking at my consistency and everything. And that's how WIAN radio came to about, because he had stopped driving trucks and got into photography and radio.
Okay.
So he called me. He said, hey, man, I've been watching you. We got a slot for a radio show, and we were like what you talking about. He said, you can just be real, authentic, and you can just be yourself. We like what you doing. And once again, here I go. I'm like, man, I ain't never did no radio. I talk a little slang.
Right.
I'm from down south. You know, from nobody probably ain't gonna want to hear me because I'm not talking the big words. But, you know, after 2 months of just sitting on it, I just said, you know what? Let's just go and see what it do. Yeah, and that's how it all started, man. Because Open was originally, man, I thought about throwing different events for men, like dads and daughter day, a weekend, dads and sons a weekend, and then you know the men bring their significant other if they're dating someone, and they have like a little jazz night, or a family barbecue. I'm just throwing ideas that I had of a family barbecue that we come together and show each other how to conduct ourselves as men, and we won't be acting no fool like we see in society each and every day.
Right.
So that's where it all originated from, man.
Man, look, you almost jumped into the whole meat of that thing, bro. I was like, we're gonna take every time I get on this show, I always gonna go somewhere else. Yeah. Hey, I want to say, man, I'm absolutely proud of you, man, and what you've accomplished thus far. And it's amazing how life comes full circle. You know what I'm saying? And the things that we've seen and things that we've been through, that we're able to pour back out. Because we've been poured into. I mean, I think about your mom, my mom, us coming up around each other, and how they instilled just being real. You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, and that means a whole lot. And to see where you are now, I'm like, man,
Yeah.
it's just what it was. It was what it was meant to be. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah.
Miss Peck did. She ain't call no stops. She kept going all the time. You know, whether you wanted to hear it or you did it. And my mom did the same thing. So,
Yeah.
I'm just thankful for what is to come. It's a lot of times,
Yeah.
you know, the Bible even says, "Do not despise small beginnings." Kind of like how this show came into my lap. You know, I just would help somebody out, and they just like you, they call me and say, "Hey, I want you to start the show next week." You want to know, you know, prepared. It was like your show start next week. I'm like, what? But it's just amazing, man, how things can happen. So you got the show now, and the show is going, you know, full throttle. You're coming on every Sunday. What are some of your highs and lows as you've been going into it, as far as, you know, having to come up with content, having to get guests and stuff like that to interview? Tell us the whole backdrop of how that works.
Well, it took me a while to get the confidence of it as far as getting guests, because I was still trying to get comfortable. Because, man, when I first started, man, I used to, because I speak too, so I used to have all these little notepads and notes in my lap.
Right. Right.
And then it wasn't easy at first because I wasn't pre-recording. I was actually going live.
Right.
So it wasn't no room for error. So I had all my little notes written down, and my guy Wes, he was like, "Man, you gonna get away from those notes." And I didn't see myself. He's like, "You gotta take the speaking and bring it to radio." And he just let it flow. He said, just let it come natural. So each and every show, man, I started with 4-5 pages. Then I went on to the little note cards. Had about 10 note cards. To I was down to 1 note card. So eventually I didn't need no notes at all. Correct. But one thing, like you say, man, is content. And you know, a lot of people don't know that I'm a certified life coach, and I just recently got my bachelor in counseling.
Okay. And
you know, they might think I'm just a dude just making video, but I started speaking back in 2009.
Okay.
You know, I didn't share in the open because, you know, when somebody invited me to speak, I just say what's laid on my heart. And, you know, even that someone had invited me to a women's conference one time, and I was like, "A women's conference? Why you want me to speak at a women's conference?" And she was like, "I like your testimony." And what we talked about was, like you said, being real and transparent. I don't mind sharing my past because that's what I did. I messed with a whole bunch of women back in the day. Women, chasing women, and money. But, you know, we as men had to realize that the same thing that'll make you laugh be some of the same things that'll make you cry.
Absolutely.
When you're trying to break away from those soul ties. And, you know, it been times, man, that I shared that I be having sex with different women, man, and tears be coming down my face. Because I no longer want to be that person. So, you know, at the time I was just coming into church and I just didn't really know how to pray. And I was like, "Lord, just take this away from me." But I continued to do what I was doing. Until eventually, man, I'll never forget, I was over in West Memphis. I was sitting on the side of the bed and tears started coming down my face. And this girl was like, "You can tell me that you love me too." And I'm like, I'm not crying because of that. Because I loved you. Right. Because it just had dawned on me, man, that I had become something that I no longer wanted to be. And, you know, coming up, men will tell us, get all the women you can. You got plenty of time. Not realizing that, you know, you connecting yourself with all these spirits and all these soul ties, man. And, you know, society say, once a hoe, always a whore. But, you know, if you put your faith in God, I had to empty myself out of everything that wasn't like him and allow him to pour into me so I could operate as a full man. So I went from design multiple women to design only one woman.
Correct.
And so I shared that testimony, and that's a lot of things that I talk about on my show. But as far as content, man, I just look for different popular things that people don't want to touch on, people don't want to talk about, like molestation, you know, broken homes, family secrets. I try to touch on things that people want to share, but they are afraid to share because they worry about what somebody else gonna say. Correct. And then I don't know if you done caught some backlash yet. It's like when I start talking about certain things, especially men, I get all types of messages, man, tomorrow you male bashing. You're talking about me.
I ain't got that shit. I probably will. I don't know. I'm open for it though.
Yeah. And all you
if they say bring me out the smoke.
Yeah. And all I was doing was just speaking facts and truth about men because I'm a man. I can't talk on no woman. So I can only talk about what men do. Absolutely. And I was sharing my own personal stuff that I used to do. So I'm like, I'm male bashing when they say I'm judging. You're talking
about yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I said judging is a strong opinion of you just judging somebody, but you judge a tree by the fruit that it bears, not by what it says. So if I'm actually seeing you do this, I'm not judging you. That's not a strong opinion. That's a fact. That's reality. Because that's what I see you doing.
Yeah.
So if I see you rape somebody, rape a little boy, rape a little girl, that's what you did. I'm not judging you. That's not a strong opinion. That's a fact. If you live in the homemonger's life, that's a fact. We see you doing this.
Correct.
So I'm not guessing that.
Correct.
So yeah, man, I just try to speak on those things, overcoming poverty, especially now. And I just try to speak on things that's going to help people, get out of their shell. In order to heal, you got to reveal exactly what you're going through. Because a lot of times we can run from all type of problems, man, but we can't run from ourselves.
No, you can't. We're gonna
eventually have to face ourselves. And a lot of us won't change. But we don't know how to start the process of change. And all we can show is symptoms of the problem instead because we don't know the root of the problem.
Right. Wow.
And we can get to the root. We can get to the root. It ain't always got to be somebody that's close to you. It can be a total stranger. That can tell you something. That can help you. You can be out one night and just talk to a stranger. You don't know why y'all talking, and they can tell you something to help you in your life because there's no judgment there. They don't know you personally. We just need to talk to somebody and get it out, and that's the whole purpose for why you do what you do and why I do what I do, to try to bring healing.
Correct.
Along as we're healing ourselves,
Right. And basically that's the whole reason why I named my show Real Life with One Love. I didn't I wanted the true essence of what a person is when they come onto the show. I didn't want them to try to put on an air or try to be something that they're not. Just, let your hair down. We're gonna talk for a couple of minutes, get behind the scenes and share, the real core of the thing. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what you've been doing. So I've listened to the show. I had the opportunity to be on the show with you one time, and we both definitely want to appreciate you for that. That was a great success, and we just looking for great things to come. Do you plan on taking this thing any other? Are you planning on doing any type of podcast, blogs, anything? Are you taking it any further?
Yeah, I have a podcast in the making with a different name, and the reason I haven't just really put it on a lot of platforms open because it's been since 2019, but to me, I'm still in the building stage of getting things exactly how I want them to be. Do I just want to have guests all the time, or I just want to be myself, or do I want to add some co-hosts? I just want to feel that it's right in my spirit to be like, okay, it's time to push this. So I'm posting, and I'm still airing every Sunday, and I'm getting better and better. And when I feel that it's time to, take this full throttle, that's what I'm going to do, because eventually I want to be able to go live, have a little setting of people can actually, where the cameras there, where they can actually see everything. But right now, I'm just still in the growing process of trying to get everything together and just trying to work on me and become the best person that I can possibly be. Like when you talked about, when you're doing this, you got to study, you got to read, you got to know what you're talking about.
Correct.
And you can't talk about certain issues if you still dealing with certain issues yourself.
Correct.
It's just like people ask me about marriage. I can't talk about marriage because I have never been married before. So that's something that I'm not going to talk on because I have never been married. You know, it's easy to say what you would do in a situation if you ain't never been in it. Right. So that's the advice that I give people. If you ain't never been through a situation or been through something similar to what somebody else has been through, you can't tell that person nothing.
Correct.
You can't tell them nothing. Because it's easy to have an imagination of what you think you might do. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, man, one thing about it is people all over the world that's going through something. And I think one of the main things that we're dealing with, and this may could be something on your show coming up soon. I know I want to talk about it. We've been 2 years behind the pandemic, and I don't know if we out of it. I don't know how they pronounce us not being out of it. I don't know if the president come and say something, but there's a lot of aftermath behind this pandemic that nobody's really talking about. People lost their homes, they lost their jobs, they lost family members. If you look at the count of people that actually died just within the last 2 years, it was a whole lot. And nobody's really having this discussion of the mental onslaught that had happened to a lot of people, from children to young adults to adults. It just was crazy. I mean, you had where you couldn't go visit your senior citizens in the senior citizen home. I mean, so it was crazy, and people are still dealing with that. So just closing out, as we get ready to close out, what's your thought process on, the pandemic, where we are, how did it affect you? You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about it, 2019 coming to 2020, we coming right into the pandemic. You just started a radio show. So what's your thought on that?
Man, for the pandemic, man, I feel like people looked at it from a bad thing happening, but as months went on, I looked at it as a good thing happening because, I believe God wanted us to have this time to be alone and really get to know ourselves.
I said really the same
get to know your purpose, your calling, your destiny, your assignment. Because before then, a lot of us was waking up saying, "I know there got to be a better way. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." And we use work as an excuse. We use going out as an excuse. We had all these excuses, and he took everything away from us and isolated us by ourselves to be able to deal with ourselves. If you didn't find yourself during those months in the pandemic, you're not gonna find yourself because all you had was yourself, was you. Because if you didn't develop your skills, if you didn't develop your better thought process, you didn't use that time wisely. Like you say, it's more to it than just the pandemic. I feel like it was God wanting us to come back to Him, and this is just the starting point because we don't need Him like the aftermath of what you just said.
Right. Yeah. So I know for myself, right. I had been saying to myself, man, I need a break. I just need a break from everything. And I looked around and got it, and I was like, "Whoa, I ain't not gonna be like that." But man, I don't with all of the stuff that's going on, and I guess everybody wanted to pick back up and get back to normal, and normal wasn't working. Everybody telling me, "I want to get back to normal." Normal, what's normal? Why do you want normal? I mean, you should want better. Normal is not normal. Is just normal. It ain't better. You know what I'm saying? So I don't hear no media outcasts. I don't hear anybody talking about it, about the aftermath of what some people are really dealing with after this. And I think it's going to be a conversation coming soon because it's just been 2 years, but there's some people still hurting from that, and I just think the testimonies ain't came all the way forth. So most definitely that. So man, it's almost time to end. So in closing though, what are some of the closing thoughts as far as what would you want the viewers to know about Open Network, what you're doing, and what you got to come.
Open coming proud effective now. We are every Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on WIANradio.com. WIANradio.com, and you can find me on Facebook as Damien Peck. You can find me on Instagram at D.Peck Real. And basically, man, like you just said, I think what me and you are doing is needed because mental health. You know, it's a lot of people, they want to share something with people, but who can you share it with without someone being judgmental or someone gossiping about you? And sad to say, we have a lot of, me and you from a church background. That's why it saddens me because we have a lot of good churches, but in some churches, the church is supposed to be a hospital.
Supposed
to. If you get shot in society, they not gonna be telling you why you was out there in the street, why you get shot, what you was doing out there. They don't tend to your suffering soul. Same thing the church supposed to do. It ain't none of your business what I've been doing. I'm here because I won't change. And when I open up my heart, yeah. And when I open up my heart to you, that don't mean you go tell Deacon Ray and First Lady about what we talked about.
Come on, man. Come on.
So that's why people, they're running away from the church because they don't. It's no unity. It's not a security place anymore because they don't know who to trust because there's too much gossiping and backbiting within the church.
Right.
That's a whole other subject, man. But hey,
that's a whole nother show. And it seems like I'm gonna have to eventually have a show about it because it keep coming up. You opened up on that matter, so I didn't want to jump on it, but I promise I wanted to, but we went way somewhere else. Then I was like, no, I ain't gonna do it. Yeah. But this has been a great show, man. Information about D.Peck shows at the bottom of the ticker down there. You can find them on the radio show that he has. And man, we just want to say thank you for having us tonight on the show. And hey man, it's been real. Y'all can make some noise for real life.
It's real life with one love.
Y'all give my boy D.Peck a hand. We gonna get ready to be out.